In this lesson, I'll be giving you an overview of the Arduino IDE, or Integrated Development Environment, which is the tool that we use to write our Arduino programs in. Also, I'll show you how you upload your programs to the actual Arduino microcontroller. This program we're looking at is the sample Blink program that comes preloaded with Arduino. I'll show you that in a minute and where those other programs are located, but we'll use this for the basis of our discussion. If you look at the top, there are a couple of icons here that are handy when working in the IDE. The first is the Verify button. Essentially what this does is it compiles our code and checks to ensure that there are no errors. So I'm going to go ahead and click that button. And you'll notice here at the bottom, if everything was okay, you'll see a done compiling message, and you'll see some information about the memory, how much memory is used and how much memory is available. So our program compiled successfully. Now I'll go ahead and introduce an error by deleting this semicolon here. So if we try to do a verify, you'll notice that down below we'll get an error message, and it's saying that it's expecting that semicolon before the end of the curly brace, and typically it would highlight the line around which the error occurred. So generally the IDE tries to give you an error message that helps you to understand what went wrong and what you need to take, or the action you need to take to correct the issue. It's not the best at all times, but generally it tries to give you an indication of what went wrong and how to address it. I'll go ahead and put back the semicolon in there, go ahead and do a verify again, and now everything is okay. The next button is the upload, and first I'm going to click on this button without connecting my Arduino. So I'm going to click on it, and you'll notice it tries to do the communication, but you get an error message. Now I have a Mac, so the message you get if you have a Windows PC or laptop would be similar. It would say that it can't open the device on the particular USB port because it's not connected. So I'm going to go ahead and connect the Arduino, and I will try to do that upload again. Another issue that you may run into is that the Arduino is not being recognized, the particular port for communication from the IDE. So to address this, typically if you go to Tools and Board, the first thing you'd want to do is make sure that Arduino Uno is selected. And the other thing is you'd want to go into the port to check that the Arduino Uno port is selected associated with the appropriate USB port. So I'm going to select that. Occasionally you might run into this, but once you address it and you correct it, you should not have to run into that issue again. So there, I went ahead, uploaded it, and now if you look at the Arduino, you'll see that the built-in LED is blinking. That's essentially what this program does. It simply sets up your pin 13, which is the built-in LED pin on the boards, as an output. It writes it high, pauses for a second, writes it low, and then pauses for another second, and this continues. So your LED blinks, hence the name of the program, Blink. The other button to the left is new, so if you want to start a new sketch, you can click on that button, and it has the setup and loop functions already pre-filled for you. You can start coding. Then there's an open. So open would allow you to open existing samples or examples, or if you have particular examples from libraries, or you want to select a particular project from your file system, that's what open does. And as you work through your program, you'd want to save periodically. This button helps you to save your program. Essentially, you can also do some of these similar functions from the file menu here. You can open or save or close. And one thing that I wanted to highlight is the examples. This is where the built-in examples can be found, example sketches. So the particular one that I have loaded here is the Blink from the Basics folder. And I encourage you to go through some of these other built-in examples because they do have some good documentation and give you an example of some simple programs and simple sketches that you can use. And if you're new to Arduino, they can be helpful as a learning tool. If you have third-party libraries that are installed, and in another lesson I will explain to you what these are and how you install them, here you can find those particular examples if you have them loaded. Also, from the Sketch drop-down menu, here you can also do your verify or compile, your upload, and so forth. So again, but you can use these buttons here, or you can use the drop-down menu, and also there are shortcut keys. So that is essentially the Arduino IDE. Very simple, straightforward tool, and you will become really familiar with it as we continue our electronics projects in this course. But it's meant to be very easy and quick to start up and get you going into the code. So that's it for the Arduino IDE. Again, very straightforward, simple, easy to use tool. You will become quite familiar with it as we progress through the course, but very straightforward and allowing you to get in there and write your programs for Arduino. Let's move on to the next lesson.